It's the family bloodline.
Whoa. I don't know what happened. She just dipped on it. Uh, oh, here she is. Welcome back. Welcome back, family. Welcome back. Right. Back with us? Still there? Oh, all right. So, what's going on, family? What's good, good people? Glad y'all hopping in and hopping on. Give everybody a chance to get set up and settled in.
I can't hear anything.
Oh no. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
Okay,
loud and
I can't
clear.
hear
Like,
nothing. I can see y'all, but I can't hear anything. This is
yeah, we can hear you perfectly. You sound great. Sound absolutely fantastic. So, did your earbuds pick back up yet?
weird. Give me a second.
Well, she'll be back in a second. She'll be back in a second. But until then, Dirt, how your day been so far? Oh, that's what's happening. Yeah. For sure. For sure. That's love. It's even better when the wife can work in the same location that you off at. Everybody at the crib, you doing your thing, she doing her thing, and ain't no problems. Kids ain't running around. You got peace and quiet in the house, and everybody just rocking and working it out. Yeah. That's the name of the game sometimes. I had a bit of a hectic day again, helping my mom out and going through all her medical processes. Uh, Appointments happen that I just like forgot about and trying to catch back up on and trying to make sure I I stay in touch and stay in tune with what she got going on while trying to keep in contact with the office. It's a heavy load, heavy burden. What's going on, my brother Jay? Glad you hopped in. Hopefully you you want to take part in the discussion, and I will make sure I post the link in a little bit. Right now, we're just catching up on days and trying to see how everybody's doing, waiting for the first lady to get back on. There it is, my Wanderella.
And we're
Yeah,
back.
the one and only. The one and
Gee.
only. That's wonderful. Welcome back, cousin. Welcome back.
Oh my God. It's a wonderful thing to be back.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. So how y'all day was pretty good. Who had a day off?
Diesel had it. He had one.
I tell you, some people have
He
all the love. I tell you.
I almost didn't want to send my kids out there, but I had to think about it. Like, what they gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right. I
right.
know that's right.
Hey, so shout out to our cousin Crystal. I was thinking about her earlier today and trying to, just wondering how her and family were doing. And I wanna try and make sure while I'm still here, I drop in on them. And I never met her husband. Actually, I take that back. I met him at Candy's memorial, but
Uh-huh.
I had no real time to like just talk to him and chop it up and hang out, figure out his personality and all
Oh,
that. So
my brother-in-law is a cool dude.
yeah,
He's a
that's what I
cool
heard.
dude.
So I wanna just
So
check
I
in.
met him several times, but still never had really like conversation with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
He just ain't always just laid back and chill. You know what I'm saying?
Super, super laid back and chill.
yeah.
Um,
Definitely want to do that. So
so yeah,
shout
I'm
out to
about
Chris.
to. Hi, boo. I texted all of them today earlier to wish them a happy International Women's Day because
Right, right.
that's my female village, my queendom.
Give me one
So
second. Keep talking. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go
I
into
like
something real quick.
I'm like yeah. So that's my queendom.
Pass it to
Yeah,
her.
I texted them today. Then Ricky ended up texting our group chat, and it was very touching stuff. We had a whole bonding moment like we do when we're together, and yeah,
So hold up. Y'all got a group? Y'all got a
y-
group text?
yeah,
I love that. That's dope.
yeah.
I absolutely
It's
love that.
yeah. We're all in the group chat together, and we talk about everything from motherhood to y'all and work, and so
That's spectacular. That's pretty
yeah.
special, if you ask me.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah, yeah.
special.
It's a beautiful thing. So shout out to my queendom, my sister Alice, my sister Crystal, my sister Miranda, my sister Rachel, my mom, my grandmas, my aunts, cousins, bestie. Um, love all y'all women. Thanks for being a part of my queendom and happy International Women's Day to y'all.
Yep. And I'm gonna give another round of applause for that because
There you
y'all
go.
deserve it. Rounds of applause for sure. It's definitely important.
Yes,
Definitely
yes,
important.
yes. It's a beautiful thing to be a woman, I tell you. And especially to be a black woman. I love it. I would not trade it for anything in the world. I love this. This shit is dangerous, but I love it. It is what it is. Um, what else? What else is going on? Oh, also, it's Dental Assistant Week, Appreciation
Okay.
Week. So give it up to your favorite girl, your favorite dental assistant,
Once
me.
again, once again, we gonna give you that. You deserve it.
So, woo.
Jerron, I don't
Mm.
know what that acronym stands for. HIWD. Anybody know what that means?
Happy
Oh,
International Women's Day.
Mother's Day.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm
Thank
not always quick
you.
on the tape. I'm not always quick on
Thank
the
you,
tape.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
So
I,
with go ahead, Wanda.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So, give us a little bit of what about your background and dental assistant and what you do and how you perform and your interaction.
Okay. So, well, basically, I have been a certified dental assistant for 12 years. 12 years now. I started back I graduated from school in 2011 from
Mm.
Missouri College. Hey, sissy. um,
Hey, Al.
and the crazy thing is, I did not always want to be a dental assistant. I just kind of fell into it, and once I did, I loved it. Um, so I've worked in pediatric dentistry with Gateway to Oral Health, and now I am working as an assistant at a ATSU school for who are training and teaching the future dentists of the world. So they're in their last 2 years of dental school, and they're getting all their hands-on stuff done. So 12 years of experience can help them out a lot. So that's what I do.
I love it.
They
Yes.
don't leave you again.
Huh?
I say, but they leave you.
They are, but then another group rolls in and I can do it all over again. It's the best toxic relationship I've ever been in. This is the best toxic relationship I've ever been in. So
The comings and the
it's,
goings of.
yeah,
Pros and cons of every situation.
when homeboy and the gray sweatpants leave, another set comes through. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So when you're doing that, do you find very similar personalities in different classes, or is everything just a vast
You
menagerie
know
of
what?
differences?
It's a whole lot of different. I mean, some of them do have a lot in common, and some of their personality traits are. But the main goal is that they're determined. They're determined to graduate and be the best dentist that they can be out in this world. Some of them plan to do a lot of things after school, as far as like going to specialties, and some of them are going into the military and things of that nature to provide their service to our country. So it's a
Okay.
beautiful thing. It's great to see. It's great to see.
I can imagine y'all being open to a lot of other things. Y'all going somebody's mouth. I've seen some people's mouth, so my kudos.
I mean,
Right.
I
Fact.
I like I legit love
Hey,
everything about my job, and the grosser it is, honestly, is like the happier I am. So like my favorite thing to do is like extractions. I love like pulling the teeth out. I love that part of it. I do. Like I probably
you would
shouldn't because
torture. You would.
no, I know I shouldn't love it. I know I should not. I know
Part of a
because
mercenary squad, so
our main goal is to help you keep your teeth healthy, keep your teeth not take them out. But
Right.
sometimes it ain't no saving it, and we got to do what we got to do. And I just love that part of it. And I like making ugly things pretty again. So
So my last question about this
okay.
is, so the services that y'all are providing for people, do they have to
hmm
pay for them, or are they pro bono?
Oh well, the good thing about where I work is a sliding fee scale. So if you can't, we have grants and things that'll help you out. We have sometimes you can even get your services for free depending on your income. We're
Mm,
income based. We take all insurance. We take most insurances. So
okay.
it's not. We're in the community. We're literally located like in the project, and so we are in the community. So
there's no reason someone shouldn't. No one should have a reason why they shouldn't have a toothpick.
no reason at all. It's very affordable. The students are there, so it's a lot. You're getting the service that you need, and students are learning.
Okay.
Everybody
Well,
wins.
well, again, one time for the one time, I'm gonna give you rounds of applause. Thank you, and those that are in y'all profession, because uh, we need it. And it,
Yes, we
like
do. Yeah, indeed,
health,
indeed.
yeah, health is wealth, and that's the honest truth of it. Health is wealth. If you
hmm
if you're not taking care of yourself in a healthy fashion, you're losing wealth. So
Yep.
yeah. All right. So let's hop into it. We are on
Yeah, we got
episode
all that
2.
out the way.
Wait a minute.
Got all that out the way.
Shout out to Dre Day. Today is his birthday.
Oh, happy
For sure.
birthday, Dre.
Happy birthday,
Yes.
Dre.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Dre. Oh, happy birthday. I think it's Joyce's birthday is today, I do
Yep.
believe.
Yep.
Who else? It's a lot of birthdays out there.
Keanu
Happy
Neal's
birthday,
Kale's
everybody.
birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday to all
Oh,
Shout out
y'all.
to all my
happy
wife.
anniversary,
We
Manny and
just need to have
Oh
Olga.
man, absolutely. Come on, family. Let's get that
Happy
in. Let's get that in.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Oh,
what
hey
up, Maya.
Maya.
Hey,
I
Maya.
can hear it.
Always.
I can hear it in my headphones. You know what I'm saying?
I got to put a little
Yeah.
bass in my voice when I see her on. Like, hey Maya,
Hey, Maya.
how are you doing?
Now, love is a beautiful thing. Happy anniversary, Manny and Olga.
Yes, absolutely. Happy anniversary, my brother.
I love love. It's so, oh my God.
Beautiful.
I love it.
So speaking of love,
All right. Let's talk about y'all
we
loving yourselves. Let's talk about it.
so We are. What's going on, Eddie? It's been a minute. I'm
Oh,
glad
what's
you're
up?
back, cousin.
Hey,
I'm glad to see
hey.
you. We're jumping back in on episode 2 of Male
Male
Tears.
vulnerability.
Yeah,
Male
male vulnerability
tears.
aren't weakness. They're not
They
weakness.
are not.
So, yeah, congratulations, by the way, to Manny and Olga
Hmm.
for hitting another year. That's. We might have to say that for another segment, but like
That's a
that's
beautiful thing.
it's absolutely wonderful. I'm overjoyed that that's where y'all are. Just like I'm overjoyed with Dirk's birthday gift from his wife. Like those type of things, I indulge in to the fullest because it's worth it.
And it should be right before the anniversary. So how do I, you know what I'm saying? I can't. I ain't even try to. Just let her
Oh,
have it.
you better try your damnedest
Oh,
to compete, buddy. That's
okay.
all.
Say no more. But for like me, I don't know. Cause like when we try to do
Yeah,
stuff
y'all
like
just gonna
that,
be up on the year, right?
it'd be second.
That's what's up.
Second.
Like,
Wait a minute, no, what? What's that say behind? 17? I don't know, I gotta get my math right there.
yeah, think about
Cause
that.
y'all's a week
17.
after mine.
Oh, God, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all's are a week after mine,
One, two, three.
and so I'll be at 7.
I know the date. I'm trying to forget. 21. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Manny got married the same year.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll be at year 7 this year also. This is the copper anniversary. So I gotta find a copper gift for him, something from the heart. But anywho, that's later.
Yeah,
We'll talk
we'll
about
come
that.
back to
Yeah,
all that.
we'll get back to that later. So
Yeah,
back
'cause
to
that's
male tears are weakness.
yeah.
Episode
Uh,
2 of male vulnerability. Let's get
yeah.
into it.
Lex. Last night we had during our meeting we had a really good meeting, just exploring different movements of male vulnerability, and I'm gonna start posting some of the clips of our meetings because we actually get into topics where we're not, and I'm not saying that the audience is a distraction, but where we're not pulled off the topic and trying to discuss other things. So we get to we hit a lot of meat. We hit a lot of good points.
Hmm.
And I think so. Dirt has a board on his right with some of the points that we talked about last night. But
Kiana's
I wanna.
watching.
Yeah. What up, man?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on,
So
Keanu?
we had a lot of good conversation about when I was making up this board. She was, I was asking her questions and she was just trying to see what I was writing down. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
while I was writing down my notes or whatever,
Hmm.
so I was in tune in the process.
So I am going to get ready to post the link uh, in our
And we
comments.
want new voices tonight, okay?
Yeah,
We don't want just the
yeah.
same people. Not that we don't appreciate it, because we do
We love y'all.
love it.
But
But
let's start off with one of the points that you asked your husband last night, Wanda.
hmm
And he actually gave you some
oh
direct feedback. Let's just like get directly into it. You don't
well,
want to or what?
I don't like no, it's fine. I'm
I
just trying to
mean,
think about if
simple question.
if my answer was direct. I'm trying to because I don't never really get a direct answer from him. But anywho,
His answer was
what
very
It was
direct and
direct. It
very
was
blunt.
direct. I think that
so when I asked what does that part?
Yeah. So the
Okay,
question, yeah, go ahead. You got it. Go ahead and
so
get into it
my
with the question.
question was to the fellas as well because my husband was in the room, so I wanted to see what he thought too. Um, what do you hear when we ask you to be vulnerable with us? What do you
That's
hear when I ask
yeah.
you that?
So
Because
we'll jump
I
into.
know what I'm asking, but I want to know
Hmm.
what you hear. Because the way we hear and receive things, the way we say and receive things can be completely different.
Yeah, our processing centers are different, men and women.
Yes.
How we hear things, we digest them and
Hmm.
regurgitate them are totally different than what's
Yes.
often actually said.
Hmm.
So so what was his answer when you asked him that? Because I want to see how many men can identify with his answer as it being the
If
opposite
he
of
watching, he can tell me what his answer was because I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. He hasn't said anything in the comments yet, but I know he watching. Um, I do
I
believe
remember.
he said something along the lines is you want me to cry and tell you how I feel.
That was part of it. But the the actual after he said that, he gave the heart of the answer for most men, which was, I got you square, which was, it's dangerous.
Yeah, he said.
It's
No, I think he
dangerous.
said I said no. When I asked him what does vulnerability mean to him, he said
Oh, that was me.
being
Go ahead.
exposed to danger. Being exposed to danger is what vulnerability means to him. And
Yeah.
I was like I know what I heard and I know what he said. And I was just like, huh? So let's kind of elaborate on that.
Mm.
It was my same thought as well. That's what I did in my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all
Yeah.
agree with each other, which is I was just like,
Absolutely.
okay. I'm like, okay.
It was above that. Like when we talk, when we sit down and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? It was above that, but I think it was. You know what I'm saying? That's my thoughts when it comes to that. Like, that's the other man.
So all right, I'm finna bring one of my brothers up real quick. He's been on before, but this is a topic he hasn't discussed with us. So come on in, brother Jay.
What up,
Hey,
bro?
how's it going,
What's going
everybody?
on? Y'all keep talking. I'm finna plug this back up. I'm listening
Do
though.
your thing.
Hello.
How's everybody doing? Happy
Good.
International Women's Day.
Thank you.
And you're welcome.
How you feel on this current topic right here? What do you hear when
Um,
you hear a woman say, "Baby, I want you to be vulnerable"?
What do you hear when we say that?
um, being honest, I believe this is actually a good topic because the thing we're dealing with within our own community, especially dating wise, is the fact of there are women who say, "Hey, I want you to be vulnerable. I want you to open up. I want you to talk to me." Being vulnerable is a man sharing his traumas, his insecurities, his fears, with you in a relationship. It's not him projecting, it's not him putting his past onto you. It's just him saying, "Hey, I've been through this, I've been through this, I've been through this. I move about life this way now. I want to know, can I come to you if I'm not feeling okay and talk to you about what's bothering me in the relationship or what might be bothering me mentally or what's bothering me throughout life without having to worry about it being thrown in my face and blowing up."
Hmm.
So
And that's what you
so
consider dangerous.
It's us wearing our heart on our sleeve and putting ourselves out there the same way you as women, when you say you express yourself to men and you're putting your emotions out there and you're making it known you love us, you want us to be more open with communication. It's us doing the same thing, but we don't want it to blow up in our face or be laughed at like ha ha like.
that's a bit of a thing because
Okay.
I think I said on the last time we were talking that one of the things that we have experience with as men is being in that space, and it could be something as little or as small, minute as being like, "Hey, did you take out the trash?" And the guy's like, "Nah, I ain't taking the trash out yet, but I'm gonna get it." And like 3 or 4 years later, y'all might have a little bit of a disagreement, but that's one of the things, the first thing that's brought back up. Well, remember you said you was gonna take the trash out and you didn't do it then. You know,
Hmm.
that's part of the concept of like it's a small thing, right? Take the trash out. So what we hear and what we're processing is you're trusting me to complete a task. I didn't do it when you wanted me to do it, but I still got it done. I got it done on my own time. So you negated the fact that the goal was accomplished. It didn't happen in your span of time. So you're gonna hold that sometimes, and that's what it feels like. These things are going to be held over our head in a space of vulnerability.
Yeah, I can see. I don't. I can see that, but I look at it like, like you're gonna start looking at what triggers us or what put us in a dark space. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like women always try to correct the situation. You know what I'm saying? And not everything can be fixed. You know what I'm saying? And that's not saying that we shouldn't talk to y'all, but I just feel like y'all always feel like y'all can correct everything. You know what I'm saying? Just
Hmm.
naturally, and being that y'all loyal, y'all feel like y'all can correct everything. And then sometimes I feel like y'all can take what we said or and like the man said, it can be used against us. You know what I'm saying? In the later front. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, if something pop off in the room, now you gotta look at me all weird to make sure I'm not tripping. And
Right.
some things might even trigger me like that. You know what I'm saying? But because I told you a certain incident triggered me to do this, now you tripping out there every time that situation pop up. You know what I'm saying? And we don't need that. You know what I'm saying? We just that's how I feel about opening up. You know?
Okay, but when at the point of when you're vulnerable, that means you've been with this person and you trust them, correct? So you have to be able to trust them with that information, which is the next step in vulnerability, is being
Yeah.
trusted with information.
Hmm.
So
So
you
so
just
that's
gotta trust that we are gonna take what you give us and cherish it like the gift that it is. Vulnerability, male vulnerability is a gift, especially to a woman who's receiving it correctly, if you know what I mean.
but that's part of the problem is we go through so much turmoil and we travel down so many tumultuous roads to find and get with the woman who actually has that idea of our vulnerability being a gift to them. That once you finally get us and you're exploring that aspect of us, we're guarded. And now you're dealing with that onion with multiple different layers. That's not just gonna like open give itself directly to you because of all of the experiences. Now, a lot of people will begin to try and throw out statistics and uh, try and push things on what like religious beliefs and become zealous about what's supposed to happen in the household. But what we got to remember is that we're all human, right?
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, we're fallible beings, and we are all susceptible and vulnerable to various different things. Men's emotions are like again, like I told you last night, our emotions go up and down. We don't express it outwardly like y'all might want, and that's because we're trying to find a place to push to like insert it to where we think, okay, we might be I might be able to trust you with this information.
Compartmentalizing.
Yeah, we absolutely compartmentalize. We absolutely do that. So we're trying to figure out a way to get there.
So, do you think that not being vulnerable makes you even more vulnerable because you got so much crap that you're
I
not
think it
letting
makes
out?
I think it
Well,
makes
it's not that it's not being vulnerable. It's the fact of in today's society, when we look at society and we look at things men go through, we feel like we have no safe space. Our only safe space, if I'm being honest, like Brother Glass, he's a brother I can call if I have something on my mind. I can express
Yeah,
things that I can't express to other individuals. We only have our boys. And there's nothing wrong with us having our boys or our brothers that we can talk to. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at the same time, you as women will go, well, I want you to communicate your issues with me so I can try and help you resolve them or help you work through them. But at
Hmm.
the time, it's always how can we really trust and know you're going to help me work through it? How can I trust and know that if, at the slightest situation of you getting mad at me, it's not going to be thrown in my face and blow up?
what's going on, big bro? I see you,
Well,
sir.
here's the thing with that. We like this comment says, we are expected to be open and vulnerable because I guess that's just supposed to be our nature as women. But we can't get the same in return. You know what I mean? Um, you just have to trust the fact that that won't happen. That the right, like I feel like with that, you got to use what they call discernment with your vulnerability. You have to use discernment. Like you
Right.
know somebody that's not gonna. I mean, because y'all can just as easily as throw things back up in our face as well. I mean, it's something that both
Yeah,
sides do.
correct.
And it might not be how we do it. And it might not be like, oh, but last week I saw you look at that girl booty. I mean, it may not be like, it might not be like that, but y'all be like, y'all can be very, push off and like, yeah, I give us the yeah, I.
yeah.
Very true.
So the comment that Kiana made is like you were just touching on one. It's very relevant because we do as men we absolutely do expect once we've made it known that we're in a relationship we absolutely expect vulnerability from our women. And like I said last night, um, one of the things that my woman and I practice, and I absolutely love and appreciate and respect about our relationship is that we practice reciprocity, right? We make sure that we reciprocate emotions and we reciprocate assistance to each other, and it's not done in a fashion of holding something over each other's head. It's done in the fashion of trying to make sure we're covering all of our bases to express love in various different dimensions, right? And unfortunately, a lot of men don't, not just men, but a lot of people don't get that, don't have that experience. But when you do have that experience, it changes the face of everything else, you know. So it's a lot of times it's a movement of trying to get to that space, right? And it's not an easy path to travel. We become guarded, we become jaded, and again, male emotion is something that we do our best not to try and pin our emotions on y'all, us being protectors, because we're trying to protect y'all from something that either we may not think you can handle or we don't know how to properly express it because it'll come out as aggression. And y'all will think that, well,
Can
you
they process?
right.
Can they digest what we?
Or we could possibly be trying to save you from your own mistakes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if we're asking you for this vulnerability, more chances than not, we can handle it. And but I do because I'm a
I
woman.
mean, it's correct. You are, but
So
that's what I'm saying. I'm a male, so I feel like a lot of conversation that's going on. Like I don't feel like I don't mind crying to my woman, but when I cry to my woman, it's more like a tragic situation. I'm not crying to her or opening up for like day to day
that's
activity.
okay. We keep going back to this whole crying thing. We're
I
not
mean,
Let's
saying
talk
that
about it.
crying is not what I mean, it's okay to cry
no,
by all means.
no,
If you need that cleanse, do you, boo. But
no.
vulnerability does not necessarily mean crying.
So we have a day to day conversation. We wake up and I tell you how, oh baby, like Jason saying, we slept bad. We had a bad sleeping experience. You know what I'm saying? We talk about waking up. You know what I'm saying? We talk about our day. Daily conversation among couples. What more do women need for us to open up that we don't that y'all don't feel like we're vulnerable? That's the question.
What more do you want from me?
What
Am
more
I
do you
not
I
want from
want to
me that
know
we
entertaining?
have?
everything. I want to know everything. I mean, even
Am I
like,
not
and
entertained?
I'm sure I get on my husband's nerves because every day, you miss me today. You think about me today. What do you think about this? When you think about me, what do you think about? I want you to open up like that.
But
Like
when you
that's
get
what.
but when he say, yeah,
Or
he
when I
answer all
say,
your questions.
and
Yeah.
then I'll be like, what you think about? Like, what you thinking about, right? Because you can clearly see that you're in
You,
thought. What are you thinking
you,
about?
you.
And I would have been like, oh, babe. But you know, but that's not, he was like, I'm thinking about nothing. Like, you're clearly deep inside. Clearly. What are you thinking about?
Yeah. So like I explained last night, a couple of days ago I had to take my mom to a dialysis center and she had to do some labs. It wasn't for her dialysis treatment because I've been doing that for her the last like 3 times a day. It's a lot. Anyway, but what I did notice is that the people in general that were coming out of their dialysis, like they were open, they were happy, they were direct, they were jovial because they understood and understand where they are in life, right? They know directly. If I don't get this dialysis, eventually I will die. I will die. So the older black men that I seen coming out of their dialysis, it was amazing with how open that they were. They were speaking to everybody in the room. They was looking at people walking in like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm glad to see you. You know, I hope you have a good treatment session." Blah blah blah. And what I expressed was for men in order to walk us through the stages of getting to a state of being vulnerable, it's literally an action and an act of death. We have to go through an internal movement of dying to stuff that we've learned. I don't know what Jay is, but we've got to,
It's okay.
yeah.
This is what I think about accountability.
Go ahead and say it.
It's a state. You know what I'm saying? It's a state of mind. It's not like when women ask us to be vulnerable, like you say, one, it's not about crying and foremost. When I think about it, I think about physical. These people trying to harm me. So I'm coming to my people. I'm in a vulnerable state because I feel for my life or I feel in danger. So I'm like, hey, these people trying to harm me. So it's physical. Economic. Damn, baby, my paper ain't. I ain't worked in the last week or so. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I'm coming to you. Baby, I ain't. You know what I'm saying? She's like, why you feeling like that? Like, my paper ain't right. You
So
know what I'm saying?
so let's pause on that part
Okay,
just real briefly because that's
Mhm.
for men that's huge for us.
that's the big thing.
Mhm.
That's
That was one of that's the that was the first thing my wife asked me tonight. She was like, "Cause I ain't worked this week. You know what I'm saying? So I
yeah.
came back home. I ain't worked all this week." And she like, I noticed when you don't work, you get into a whole little funky little vibe. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, she's still back there working. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I'm,
Right.
I'm just telling around the crib, doing the odds and ends things, but she's still getting a paycheck. So where I don't get a paycheck, she still get a paycheck. But I'm tripping off of it, like,
Which means y'all will be taken care of.
but it's still it's a male thing. That's what I'm saying. Like women and men are different.
Because we need to take care of.
We need
That's a part of
protective part.
it is. That's a part of our need.
It's part of our nature.
It is.
It's not a need. It's part of our nature. Where we look at women as caring and nurturing and so forth, like we spoke about. Men are protectors. That is just I don't care who you are. As any male will tell you who they, you know what I'm saying. First and foremost, I'm gonna protect this pride. So therefore, already we vulnerable because we got these troops. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
see you, Corey. We got
you know what I'm saying.
Hey, that's my
Like
brother Corey.
you. Yeah.
TNT, I'm gonna stay solid with them, so I'm vulnerable to them. Shawnee, Chanel, y'all know the siblings. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know my tribe. I'm gonna say I'm vulnerable to
Wait a
them.
second, Eddie. We're about to let y'all in now. Hello.
Come on, talk about it,
What
Corey.
up,
Good to see you.
fam?
Thank you for coming through.
Appreciate
What you want to say, Corey?
So I guess I'm trying to hear a little bit more about the topic specifically.
And which
We're
aspect?
just
you.
oh.
Go ahead.
No, I
Okay.
just like what part were you trying to because we are just talking about we're hitting on male vulnerability tonight.
Yeah, we on episode 2.
Episode 2. Eddie, I
What do
don't see
you
you. I
hear?
see Corey though.
Just ask him what do he hear when he heard male
So
vulnerability.
when a woman or your woman asks you, baby, I want you to be vulnerable with me, what is it that you hear her saying to you?
Oh, that's a great question. I thank you for saying that, Wanda. That's a great question. Spoonie love for the lady.
When I hear that kind of question,
Hmm.
I
What do you
think
hear
that
her say to you? Because I know what she said, but what do you hear her saying?
I need you to lighten up and be softer.
Be softer. Why do you think why are you taking a stance of it being softer? I mean, I as a man I know, but I'm trying to get you to articulate that because
Yeah,
our
I
lady
need
counterparts
more.
have to
So
we've got to figure out a way to break that barrier
so here's
and
my
and
so here's
get
my
that
thing.
through.
Nah, let
Hmm.
Corey speak. Let Corey speak. You want to jump
Okay,
all on us real quick.
okay.
Yeah,
We
he was
already know what
excited,
that is.
cuz.
You know what I'm saying? You ready. You want to, you first. You got to wait your turn in line. Cuz.
The reason I say be softer is because of the fact that I have a tendency to be very direct, and
Mhm.
sometimes that can be misinterpreted.
Sure,
So
yeah.
I have to make sure that I'm using different type of language, because if you know me, you know I have a tendency to be like very much in your face and very much direct. So when she speaks to me like that, that's our way of saying, hey, maybe you need to evaluate this from a different perspective.
But
Okay.
you use the word softer. I don't necessarily think that being vulnerable means that you have to be softer.
What do you
And
think?
the reason why I say that is because, and I hate to, I don't like using
You just
statistics and
showing
stuff,
that soft and fire, though.
but you're not.
You open
Yeah,
up,
you
you know,
are.
You are.
No, you're
You
not.
are.
You're not. And
You are.
the reason why I say you're not is because learning
I
to
feel like it's a
articulate.
very hard. There's nothing soft about y'all sharing vulnerability. I think that's something very hard for y'all to do.
But we
There's
talk
nothing
about
soft about it.
masculinity and femininity.
Well, yes,
Yeah, but
because when
we're
men
talking
expose
about
vulnerability,
vulnerability. Go
they
ahead, Eddie. You got it.
Go
sorry.
ahead, bro.
So we've been ingrained. We grew up with. We've grown. We've all known like men don't show emotion. Men don't cry. Men are the rock. All these things have been put into our minds, and now I'm 35 years old, and you want me to be vulnerable?
Well, let's walk that back a little bit. And I'm saying this, I'm being a bit of an antagonist on purpose.
Okay.
Right? We use the word softer, and I'm doing this as a man to other men on purpose, right? Corey used the word softer, and you used the phrase like a rock. But remember, rocks can break as well. They all it all has a
I
stress
mean,
point.
everybody's got a
But
breaking point.
right. But I don't necessarily think that being vulnerable means that you're soft. Now I totally understand where you're coming from with that. I totally understand where you're coming from with that. But being vulnerable is, to me personally, and I'm saying this because I've learned how to be vulnerable, and I'm learning how to be vulnerable with my woman. But being vulnerable pushes you into a state of learning how to make. It's not so much make, but defining yourself. You either accept me for where I am and who I am right now in this state of being, or you don't. You don't have to accept me. You don't have to accept me for who I am.
Just like we said, we pretty much set in our ways for that
That's
person
a.
in our
I
life,
mean that.
in
I
relationships.
hear you, but like everybody, we want to be accepted, especially by the person we're laying
That we
next
love.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's a hard pill to swallow. So like
Yeah.
this topic is close to me, really, because my wife always tells me like I need to be in touch with my emotions more. I need to be open more.
So
I
let's pause on that just for one quick second, then I'll let you continue. So, ladies, never think that we're not in touch with our emotions. We internalize our emotions. We know what our emotions look like.
definitely.
We know
So
what
we're
our
built off
emotions
defense mechanisms,
can.
though.
Yeah. So men, we're not like removed from our emotions internally. The external aspect of it might look different, but internally we process our emotions, and it might not be in the state, or it's not articulated the way you might be able to receive it, but
I
we are
don't
actually
know, because
processing
some of
emotions.
y'all are real emotionally constipated.
We're rigid.
And
We're
like,
rigid.
no, I just like, there is no way you can go through your whole life.
I can. Sorry.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Corey had something.
Corey had his hand up first.
Yeah,
All right.
Corey had something.
I guess my thing is vulnerability is a tough thing to say because men are built off of defense mechanisms 100%. And
Yeah,
when you
absolutely.
ask us to be vulnerable, are you asking us to be vulnerable and show the softness in us? Or are you asking us to be vulnerable and tell you what's real? Because there's two types of vulnerability with me. Be vulnerable with me. Tell me don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what's real. Or be vulnerable as in show me that softer side of your emotions. That's what I hear when I hear vulnerability.
Well, again, softer. Softer is, I think, saying the word softer, it brings, for men, we get that, right? Because that's how we
Mm-hmm.
process it. Like y'all are asking us to be softer, but being able to express your emotions isn't a soft thing, because
No.
expressing emotion, actually articulating it is a tough thing to do. It's hard for us to do because we process things differently, and our phrasing, our words are different as well. And that's why, like, when we correct each other, it's a direct, no left or right parameters. It's a black and white type of thing. Like, hey,
Okay.
player, because
So
Let me give
BS,
y'all
doing
the
good.
Oxford. I'm gonna give y'all the Oxford definition for vulnerability. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I say it's a state as opposed to y'all have. Oh, so when y'all say it too, so that's why I say it always go back to a state of like physical harm or trauma, vulnerability. The definition pretty much it go back to so when y'all ask us that term to be vulnerable to open up, we think
But y'all have to understand that in your relationship, your woman is not trying to attack nor harm you.
no no
She's
no.
only trying to build and help.
But y'all asking us to open up about a trauma situation or a or something that was so detrimental to us. You know what I'm saying? A trauma situation. That's what we
Hmm
think about when we feel when we being vulnerable.
So
hmm
so Fat had mentioned some. Sorry, J Glass the movement had mentioned something.
It's
I'm
fat.
still fat.
It's
Like
fat.
never get it confused. I'm still fat. I'm
Had
still
mentioned
fat.
something earlier about the I called it nitpicking, but the trash situation. You know,
Uh-huh.
like yeah, I didn't do it on your timeline, but I did it, and I feel like there are moments when like that comes back to bite me in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Okay, so simple fix
I
to the
feel like we
trash,
ganging up
guys.
on you, Wanda.
Like,
Go ahead.
no, it's not. The simple solution to that is just do it when the hell we tell you to do it. Regardless of what
that's
you
not
got going on,
no.
just do it.
That's
End of
not
that
always.
story. It
And,
is.
and
It is.
if it was that simple, it would get done. If it was that simple, it would get done. Like
We simple creatures.
we are, and sometimes we are actually
So
doing.
simple that y'all a complicated headache. And turn your camera this way.
Yes,
Listen,
Turn your camera.
but
yes.
also
See how
Hey,
simple we are?
so
Spoonie,
Right.
Yes.
turn your camera so everybody can be the. There we go. Thank you.
Mm.
Ooh,
there ain't
ooh.
nothing back there. It's just my biggest head.
No, you was messing with my OCD. Everybody's camera is
Yeah.
this way, and you you was this way. Everybody else was this way.
That's because
It's
my head
okay.
big, man.
Go ahead.
But
Oh,
like, also, you know how you brought your brother on? Like, it's easy. It's weird because it's easier for me to be vulnerable when I'm around Corey. It's easy for me to be like, "Yo, man, this is bothering me."
that's because y'all share with each other. Y'all are vulnerable with each other.
Trash.
Well, we also won't
So,
break the rule of
but
two.
but if you can be vulnerable with him, you can definitely be vulnerable with your mate.
This is the conversation last night. This is what we hit it.
And it's a yes
Boom. I'm
and
glad
no.
you hit on that. We spoke about this last night. Like I host poker tournaments at my house. You know what I'm saying? So we
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
barbershop. You know what I'm saying? We got open
The
venues and
barbershop,
open
yeah. I
space
was just
for men to vent pretty much or talk about and it's someone that's going through a similar situation as I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm just out here just you know what I'm saying, just feeling my
Oh,
guts. You know what I'm saying? So
where you go?
it's that's what I was telling Wanda last night. Like you really like men really have to have that space to vent before we can pretty much come
Where
about.
you
It
go?
don't seem like a betrayal towards y'all, but we didn't vent it and within venting we didn't got that therapy, we didn't got that, you know what I'm saying, that relief. We know how to come back home and talk about it now. You know what
mhm.
I'm saying? So that's what it would be about with the barbershop talking and all that.
So yeah, that like I agree. I agree with that 100%. Like I don't know how to say everything right the first time. I am a thinker. I get in
Mm.
trouble because I don't talk in arguments. Wait and I'm like I process it. And I'm like, well, this is what I want to put out there because once you say something, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
That's true.
And like I don't like I would never be a person to fly off emotionally off the handle. But
This last comment just
Yeah, that's
just
what I was laughing at.
this last comment but I mean it just grew up in our face, but hey, we done chunked it up as we did
Right.
in life, in
Yeah.
society, growing up, like in certain
Yeah.
situations. We just chunk it up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's what we do. That's why I say
There
we
you go.
simple. Like
We
we
don't know
live
where
and we
you went.
learn. We just chunk certain things up.
But I'm not an emotional person, and I'm trying. So this topic is close to me because I want to hear more about the vulnerability and and basically from Wanda's perspective, like what when you say vulnerability, what do you mean? What do you want from us? Like,
So she asked that already, right? And I don't think you were on, but like
okay,
everybody, make sure you read Kiana's first post from what Dirt just put up, because it's actually a very relevant question, a statement. But that's the question. Like for men, we're trying to figure that part out. When you ask for vulnerability from us, what are you like? We hear something different than what you're trying to express.
Right.
We
We
hear
gave our reasons.
Yeah.
behind it. We know.
Right.
We had like 4, 5, 7 different people talk about the same conversation. So women, like I say, it sounds different, but y'all just tell us we just want y'all to open up. What does that include? That's what we want all the women that's out here.
Let's talk about your childhood. Let's talk about so I can figure
You
out.
know
Okay.
that. You know
Ooh,
that.
oh well,
We
okay.
married.
I'm all
You-
for
you-
that.
You know what I'm saying? You know that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
I know
let's-
some of it. I don't know everything.
Well,
All right,
let's
question.
take it. Go ahead, Corey. You got it.
All
You
right,
got it.
so this is where it comes down to vulnerability for me. Is it a safe place? Because on a lot of occasions,
Right.
you want me to break down and you want me to tell you what's really going on with me. And are you going to use that in an argument arbitrarily later on to use that to affect the argument? I mean,
Or
We have to trust
Or-
that that's a no.
or is this going to be something that's going to be tucked away in the back of your mind, and when your spaghetti brain begins to go through the different connected wires, you go back to that, and you might not, like, women might not say it, but it becomes well, he's actually acting like this because of this.
yeah.
That.
Ooh, I hate that.
That's
All
what,
right.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I say.
You're
So,
right.
so when we open up and tell y'all things about us, y'all use
You use it
that.
against us.
So like I say, y'all look at
No,
certain things
it's
in the
not
room
used against
and
you.
y'all do. Y'all look at certain things in the room and be like, damn, that might be a trigger for him. You see what I'm saying? That might set him off. That might put him in a state. That might make him pop off. That might make him flip over a table. You know what I'm saying? So y'all tripping on certain aspects of conversation that we had privately, and now we in a public setting, and then now you acting weird. You know what I'm saying? So we might not be tripping off that. You know what I'm saying? But because we didn't open up and told y'all this conversation, it's on. That's why we feel like it get used against us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, but I agree with what he's saying because on a lot of occasions, for me personally, I've been through a lot in my life. So when I give up those pieces of information, I'm giving you vulnerability by letting you see the wound that's there. And you
Right.
can't go and recause that wound.
I can definitely say that Corey does not have a problem with being vulnerable at all. So personally, I can say that he does not have he does not have a problem with being vulnerable. But that's
I
because I
do.
know him.
But what is
I
it?
know him personally. Now my
You don't have a
brothers,
point where
which
he-
was I was definitely gonna hit on this. The vulnerability.
have a part where he's afraid to be vulnerable. That's what we asked.
My
I can
point,
hear you, Dirt.
the point that I was going to make was the vulnerability that I want from my partner, my spouse, is not the same vulnerability that I expect from my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like I think
Sure.
my brothers will be okay with speaking to me and feeling like their sister is a safe space to come and say, "Hey, I'm feeling some type of way. Can we talk?"
Oh yeah, I can always come. I know for a fact, like I can always come to you. I can, like any of my siblings, like I know I can be like, "This is us.
But yes,
Let me vent. I don't need no
No input.
opinions, no
Yeah.
input. Let me get this out, and then go on."
yeah,
Like,
I was definitely
but
gonna
look
hit
at
on
this.
that
Listen to
because
this.
the
Listen to
different
this.
the vulnerability that I have with my brothers is, but what I have
Yeah.
with my brother,
That's the
listen, the
No,
vulnerability
yeah,
that I have
right.
with my brother, that's what I want with my husband. I want that openness because I know that he can come to me and say anything to me and trust that it's gonna be there and stay there.
But this is the difference, right? your brother.
And I know my
has-
brother has grew up with me his entire life.
Exactly.
We've had
He
we've
got
had the
30
same
plus
struggles.
years
You know
experience
what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
with
But
his
It's
sister.
different.
And the
but
same thing with
but
me and
but if
Key,
we're
and
gonna
the
put
same thing
years
with
on
me and
it,
Candy.
yes. But if we're gonna put years on it, I've technically been with my husband for 15 years.
Yeah, but what's 15 compared to 30 plus?
I'm just
Got
saying it's
kids
half
older
of
than
that.
that. You know what I'm saying?
It's
You got
half.
kids older than that.
It's half of that. It's definitely it's half of it. But at the
So,
same
so,
time, I'm not even getting half. I don't feel like it. But
so again, it's a progressive movement for us
thank you,
to,
sir.
right on, sir. It's a progressive movement for us to begin to figure out how to see where we are safe with our other person. Again, like with Key and even with Candy, I could like, yeah, I could like no holds barred. Those are my
Mhm.
sisters. You did
Right.
with you and the rest of my cousins. Like we could go all
You
in.
did that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. But we're not talking about family. We're talking about the person that we want to be in love with. We're here, and they're learning us as we're learning them. So we're trying to figure out where these safe spaces are and how we can get to them and how we can pinpoint where we're safe.
So,
Once we
like,
get to a certain point, go ahead, Eddie.
I've been married for 8 years. Like, I know my wife is a safe place, but there's still some things I'm just like,
Yeah. See.
and I know she hates it. I know she hates it. I know for a fact, but in my mind, I'm just like,
Where's pain right now?
she left for a work trip, so she's out of town
So,
right now.
so you very vulnerable right now because she ain't around. So you about to feel all of it.
Here we
No,
go.
You
Here
you
we
vulnerable,
go.
vulnerable.
Here we
Got his little
go.
glass of whiskey, opening up like Barbara Walters on 2020.
Right, right, right.
No,
So
no,
Maya, that's my
I'm just being like I'm being honest. Like I know I can be better, but that is just getting over
but
that hump.
can I?
Can I? Yeah, but yeah, can I?
There's a
Okay,
yield
and I
time.
am here. I
There's
am
a
here to
yield
let y'all
time.
know. I'm here to let y'all know. Yes, you can.
Like,
And it's oftentimes
Yes,
easier
I
said
can.
than done. It's oftentimes easier said than done because we come with our own experiences that have
Look like
taught
he
us
burning to say
something.
something. What is it? He look like he
Yeah, go
burning
ahead,
to
Corey.
Corey
say
Yeah,
came from a
something.
yeah.
good family. Corey came from a good family. I can tell you that, right? You know, etiquette. You know what
Nah.
I'm saying? But
It depends on how you establish your relationship with your partner. I always establish my relationship with my partner in both relationships that I'm going to be who I am. And I'm absolutely okay with looking a fool because that's just who I am. So I think that it depends on how you constructed your relationship or your marriage. If you're
Mhm.
absolutely okay with looking a fool, it's a lot easier to be vulnerable. But if you're always like, I've got to play this position or look this certain part, Jesus Christ in some situations look bad. So I know that I'm going to look bad because I'm only human. It's being okay with looking silly and having a partner
Yeah.
that is okay with being supportive while you're looking silly. Like my husband looks like a fool, but I love him because of it. That's where vulnerability comes in.
amen, brother.
Yeah. And to that point, like I said on the last episode, is the relationship that I'm in now. I worked it backwards, and she'll tell you, like I told her, like, hey, this is what I do. This is who I am, and it's my high school sweetheart. And I was like, this is where I am in life, and you're not gonna get anything different from that.
Yep.
This is me. This is me, and that was me being open, honest, and absolutely vulnerable. And I'm a Gemini, right? So there are times, and sometimes I'll be like, hey, I'm sorry, I had about 3 or 4 different thoughts going on at one time, and I didn't tell you how I was processing everything. I didn't tell you how I was processing everything, so I gave you a half thought. Let me go back and catch you up to speed to where I was. But I made sure in this relationship that I gave her the ability to fail so that we could actually go and talk about those points, and I can assess my level of vulnerability after that. right? Because we have a prior history, and for the most part, everything was genuine, and we were kids, and we know better now, and we do things better now. So
All right, we getting an echo from someone.
yeah, that's I think that's that might be a little bit.
I got one last question.
Okay, go ahead.
So women, to the women, if y'all don't feel like men are being vulnerable to y'all, do y'all feel like y'all getting our all? Or y'all
Absolutely not, which is why we keep praying for the vulnerability.
Mm, mm,
Mm, mm.
mm.
Absolutely not.
I
So
am
I
who I
will.
am, baby.
And
You know what I'm saying?
because the thing is, and like sometimes, and it might not even be this. I'm like, well, if you ain't talking to me, who you talking to?
Mm,
What's with you?
mm.
That's not my fault.
My best friend sitting to our left.
Oh wow, that's
It's all self-esteem, Lord.
Wow.
Lord.
She's serious too. Look at that face.
But
If you're not talking to me, who are you talking to?
well, we don't necessarily have to talk to anybody to answer that question.
A facade of me?
It is so.
Oh shit! He used that
Right.
phonics today.
This my wife. That's
Listen,
a facade.
listen.
I'm finna start packing my
I
shit
learned a
up.
new word over the weekend.
I feel like I need to get off this and let her get on.
Right.
I'm gonna start packing my shit up. No, but
Now you can't leave.
so
We in the
so
middle
an
of a
aspect,
show.
in
No,
a bit
but
of
this
an
our
aspect.
conversation. This is what me and my wife had. She said she don't get the best of me until I'm drunk. She said when
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
drunk,
Oh,
she said when I'm drunk, I spill my beans.
Y'all get
She
that,
said-
that liquid
Yo.
therapy session
She
inside you.
said,
Y'all
I don't
ready
even
to
have
spill
to
your guts.
explain to her how I feel about her, how much she do for me and my family and all that. She say that's not even question. She's like, but when I'm sober, and she just pull up next to me and she be like, "Hey baby, how your day?" And be like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what you want?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if she feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a total different world from when I'm drinking than when I'm in my sober
Hey,
state.
ladies, y'all better thank God for alcohol.
Thank you.
You better be true.
This is
12 years ago on September 22nd, I told Miranda I loved her before I even knew I was gonna marry her. Like, so the alcohol has something to do with it. But it was one of them things, like it makes you feel a little bit stronger.
Yeah, they liquid courage. That's what she got. That's how she started the conversation off with me. Cause
And it's
I'm
not even
like,
so
wait a
much.
minute,
It's not all the time that it makes us feel stronger. It's just that we're in a state of
we just open.
yeah.
you don't
give a shit.
care. You don't care how people view you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
The give a shit meter is on empty.
Yep.
It's gone.
Inhibitions
Hey,
are to the wind.
But at that moment, she said, "That's the real you, for real."
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Drunk man speaks sober mind.
That's
Listen.
but that's what I'm saying. My wife.
We've
said,
been kicking it ever
that's
since.
The real you. So when she say you live in a facade, that's what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the real you. You know what I'm saying? Because
But
I
the-
dumb shit down to certain people in the day to day when I'm sober. Like you know what I'm saying?
so
I
here's
dumb
my
shit down.
question.
I keep the peace. Outside that, go ahead, Wanda. Go ahead. Sir.
My question is, if you could be that drunk person when you're drunk, what's to keep you from doing it when you're not? Like, how much better don't you think you will be to yourself and to
state.
society if you were yourself all the
It's
time?
inhibitions.
That's what I say about vulnerability. It's a state. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to being drunk. It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It's a state of vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're only vulnerable in certain situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Corey.
No, I know. I go ahead. All right, fine. So the problem is like if you gotta constantly be vulnerable, it's difficult for men to stay in a consistent point of vulnerability. Women are built differently. They can consistently be vulnerable 24/7, 365. Men are not built that way because the construct of a man, once again, is built off defense mechanisms to protect ourselves and our ego, which is why our egos run wild. So us consistently being in a vulnerable state all the time, for me personally, it gets wearing.
Mm-hmm.
So why not put myself in a position to where I don't have to consistently be vulnerable all the time, where my partner can recognize, vulnerability within me without me having to verbalize it constantly. That's what part of being a partner is recognizing, all right, my man is saying something, but he's really not saying anything right now. But I know where he's coming from. I know how he feels. Vulnerability is tough to constantly be in a state of all the time.
Yeah. So there's a bit of observance that goes into this also, right? Because like I know what type of mood my woman is in. I can tell it from the way she's walking.
What's up, baby?
You can tell it when you walk in the house.
Right.
Right. You hold it tight.
You know,
I know
the whole
when she's
house
about
is in
to
a
start
mood.
getting hungry.
It's ready.
Just by the way she's sitting, and if she changes the way she sits, I know she's about to get hungry. Let me get my ass in the kitchen. Let me make her something, because if I don't, she's gonna get hangry, and I don't need that coming out.
Nobody is hungry.
I
Nobody.
observe when she's about to become curious, and I observe when she's about to actually ask me her questions. And I always brace for impact for each and every situation.
Yeah.
I do.
The fact that you use the term brace for
Brace for
impact,
impact.
it's triggering for me.
Yeah.
That
But
is
you see the
very triggering
It's the
for
truth,
me.
you
though.
see the reaction from everyone, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
We
it is.
Triggering.
But it's
know.
real.
That's what it is.
It's real. Like if she's about to get hungry, I'll ask her a few questions and be like the last question I ask is, baby, what you want to eat? Let me go make you something to eat. If you ain't got a taste for nothing, I'll figure something out. And
Yep.
I'll
You got to.
And
You
y'all
dig?
hit us with that. I'm cool.
yeah, I know
Same
you are.
shit we hit y'all with when you say, baby, how y'all today? Cool.
Yep.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
If she's happy about something, I can see
We
it
know the state
in
of
her
brain.
body movement. I can see it, and I observe in her function.
Y'all
and
know
change.
our state of mind frame. Like Jig saying, when we come to when we be like, cool. It was cool. Y'all know like that. I'm in fucked up mood. So like, you know what I'm saying? But y'all try to fix some shit. We let that shit come to us. You know what I'm saying?
Because we don't want to have to
We
read
let
between the
y'all
lines.
process that
Mm-mm.
shit because we
Nope.
process that. We process things daily. You know what I'm saying? That's how the male function. Like we'll sit up and we'll process some things day to day. And like I say, we're not gonna bring that home.
I don't
You
want to
gonna
beat
bring
up
your
on you,
problem.
Wanda.
I mean, I'm fine. Remember,
Like,
it's International Women's Day. I can handle it.
that's why I was like, I'm feeling bad. It's International Women's Day.
No,
We love
and the
life.
crazy
We love
thing
life.
is,
It's not a beating session. It's not.
It's not a it's conversation.
I
And
wish more women would actually hop in the box.
I do. It's just conversation, and that's what we saying as men. We communicate with our spouses, with our women. What more do y'all need? And I think that's what we need to end with.
Am I not?
Clairvoyancy. They need clairvoyancy.
y'all communicate with limits. Y'all communicate with boundaries.
I agree.
How much you
Because you
need?
don't need to
How
know
much you need?
everything.
No,
Right,
no,
how much you need?
no. I agree. Because I
Go
know
ahead, cuz.
for myself, like I do communicate with limits. Like there are some things that I'm just not
Man.
willing to share or give up.
And I'm married to an overthinker. So you tell her a little bit too much information, it turns into
To
a
the
whole
moon.
That
We all
lot
we
of
that
all
shit.
overthink.
I'm
To
saying
the
Overthink.
that's
fucking
what
moon.
I said. They over process what our thoughts are.
Not
So
over
therefore,
processing. It's trying to find a solution to
but
a
we don't always
problem.
You
need a
don't
that's
need
another
a
solution.
thing I said.
solution.
You cannot fix everything. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's not that we want to fix everything, but we want to make it that put your mind at ease. It might not be fixing shit,
No,
Or
that's the
but
mother and that's the mother and nature in you. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, as a mother, you want to fix that. You don't want your child, your husband, your niece, nephew, or anything going out here in society unprepared and where you can't be there. And that's what I tell my wife all the time with twins, with my boys. You can't be there for them all the time. Sometimes they gotta fix their own problems. You see what I'm saying? So we dealing with 6-year-old twin boys, and you can't fix it. Let them solve that on their own. No, I'll be on the school bus the next day. No, you won't. You're gonna let him handle that. You're gonna
We
let
gonna be
them
okay.
handle that.
right.
We're gonna be okay as
So
men.
yeah, and Maya, thank you for putting that up there. So we do understand for those of us who
We
have
appreciate it.
healthy relationships and understand that point that y'all want us to be okay. we will be okay. We will be.
After you
And
to stress yourself the hell out and been through all your
well,
little.
Why two
Y'all
people
stressing
stress when
too.
you just can have
it's the
one?
process.
Y'all
It's the
stressing
process,
as well.
Okay,
right?
okay, so women's stress and men's stress is a lot different.
Different.
That's a
It
whole
is.
other topic for a whole nother day.
Yep.
Yeah,
Correct. Correct.
because everybody getting that stress.
Everybody
Yep.
gets
But
stressed.
what I'm
It's
saying
stress.
is, what,
'Cause of the
and I
road.
say this to Maya often, like, I'll be okay. Like, it'll be okay, right?
Hmm.
Because again, the way that we
If
process
you keep saying
things,
that you'll be okay, how can we trust that when you won't, you'll come to us and say that?
well, you don't have to trust us. Just like the proof is in the pudding. Like, how many times have I said that
If
it's gonna
you
be
rocking
okay and
with
it wasn't?
me, yeah, if you rocking with me, I don't need no more proof. I'm solidified already.
Right.
So you rocking with me, we rocking, we thugging and loving. That's
And
how it is.
we
You know what I'm saying?
definitely appreciate y'all wanting us to be okay, and we know that y'all want
That
us
was
to
all
be
one
okay.
good verse right
It
there.
was like that was some fucking
And-
bars, you know?
And also too, this is a very blanketed statement. I'm probably gonna get slapped in the face for saying this, but
Choose your words wisely, baby, because
okay,
you know it's
I'm
been,
just
it's
gonna
been a
say it.
while since
I'm just gonna say it because
it's been a while since I slapped somebody. Now it's been a minute.
women
Right,
have a tendency
right.
to internalize things that have absolutely nothing to do with them and make it about them, and that is
Yeah,
what a lot of the time we are trying to avoid.
Oh my goodness. Right there. Right. Oh, bro. Right there.
I was about to try and end this
Right.
goddamn
Now the
live,
fact
but
that so because of the
that's
fact
a
that I'm
whole
not
nother
eating
point.
food the way you want me to eat food, I must have a problem with you, and you don't think we want to be together. They got memes about it. You see, you moved your leg off me 3 hours ago, and now you don't want to be with me no more.
Yeah,
It's a real thinking thing.
Look at Wanda.
She mad. I'm gonna go.
You
I'm just
better
gonna
go.
go.
Okay. Yeah. You better get up out of here.
So here's the thing.
Great conversation. Great conversation. I think this topic.
I know we
is,
like we an hour and
you know,
11 minutes in. Oh my God, this could go on forever.
Yeah, we
could do this
end it here.
forever.
Yeah,
But okay, so with that being said, yes, we may overthink, and yes, we may, sometimes it ain't about us. Make it about us. Yes, we may do that. I can agree with that.
Are y'all recording
But-
this?
we always.
Record that right now. What
But-
she just said.
I got it, Corey. I got it.
It's live. It's
Yeah,
live.
it's live.
It's live. So.
But at the same time, we just want y'all to be okay.
Yeah,
Us
and we
to
appreciate
be okay.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it.
I feel like this should be revisited with everybody's significant other.
Yeah, it should. We should explore this.
Hey man, you trying to get me in trouble?
Right.
Nah,
You know me?
like
My
that's
wife is
straight
9
up
months
facts, though.
pregnant.
That's straight up facts.
And
though.
my
Like,
wife gonna speak her mind, and we gonna be over here looking crazy. No, we
What?
have a great time. We always have a great time when we have couples on. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I think this is a conversation that like because what Miranda want might not be the same thing as what my sister wants. You know, like, but I feel like this should be something revisited when, like, you can have your significant other with you.
Well, this is
Well,
my first
mine
time
in
on
a
the
row.
show, so
Excuse me. Mine in a room hiding, watching the live on YouTube in
He's
the room.
watching.
So.
I know he watching.
He watching, but but yeah. Like I said, when we were talking about this last night,
Mhm.
I was asking questions to see just where his head was at. What exactly do you hear me saying when I ask you to be vulnerable with me?
It's like I said, it's so weird because like you want to hear the emotions, the soft side. Like when you say
But
vulnerable,
he went straight to crying. I'm like, I don't necessarily want you to cry, but if you feel like it's what you need to do, I'm here to wipe those tears away. You know what I'm saying?
But that's still,
I
that's
don't
still
cry.
The same terms. That's still the same terms we heard. As
We
men.
know you're Edward's son. Your tear
cry
ducts
like
dried
a
up
bitch.
a long time ago.
I
yeah,
cry
I
like
know.
female.
Right.
And that's where we need to stop. We need to get those tear ducts back in motion. Okay.
I'm working on it. Look, I'm actively working on it.
But that's why I say we need to change the word from vulnerability of men to I don't know. We need to change because vulnerability is safe for us. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it's so many realms to vulnerability
The
that
word
we already living in.
vulnerable and vulnerability triggers y'all so tough. Like it's
It-
like, oh my god.
We already living it. You know what I'm saying? Day to day. You know what I'm saying? We are vulnerable to whoop, whoop, the lights getting flashed. We're vulnerable to our kids. We are vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Me having young black males, I'm trying to teach these young men like it's a certain code, it's a certain way to come up. We talked about
Because
civil
I
rights
know
thing.
there's a different process of vulnerability because there's your vulnerability in society, your vulnerability with your relationship, and your vulnerability with yourself.
So as women, y'all taking that all in, being vulnerable on all aspects of life. As men, we gotta take that in sections. You know what I'm
In
saying?
sections, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta take that in
Yeah.
sections. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you love being a black woman. We black males, so we definitely gotta take that in sections and realms
Yeah,
in
because we can't
society and life. You know what I'm saying?
we can't
But like I
act out.
said, I love being a black woman. And shit is dangerous. But I love it.
And as dangerous
So
as being
we-
a black male.
So look at us.
Yeah, we can't just like
When y'all
directly
asking us to open up.
we can't directly act out on our emotions when they hit us. Because if we do, there's an issue.
I mean, we can't either because it's an issue.
Nope.
Right.
No,
Well,
Nope,
we
nope,
there's
nope.
are-
there's
No,
different
there's
looks to it.
definitely the
No.
angry black woman stigma and the
in
The
every
angry black woman
species,
stigma don't get you
in
shot
every
though.
species of humankind, the black male is aggressive,
Aggressive.
super aggressive,
Aggressive to a movement of being dangerous and having the police called.
super aggressive.
we okay. You know the Karens be out, so I mean, black
But
black
we deal with
women.
that in our relationship.
I told you about my kerfuffle at work, right?
Yes, you told me about your kerfuffle.
And I can
Yeah,
give you a
so-
direct example of what it is, especially with my former marriage, right? And I had the police called on me, right? There was a, I'm thinking like, why would she call the police, understanding where we are in this day and age as a black male?
What we are living.
It has not gotten to that point, you know.
Yeah,
And if I would have acted out and expressed my emotions in that state, in that instance, I would have been convicted and locked under the fucking jail.
But that's a part of being vulnerable, right? Using your emotions to guide you, and that's a key. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't
Yeah.
do that in a logical world. You cannot act emotionally.
And I'm a big dude, and at the time I was like ridiculously in shape, and I got my arms popping out, my fucking chest popping out.
They can't even put them in handcuffs.
Yeah,
But
so
you,
it looks a little bit different.
but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a big dude. I'm not an in shape dude. Like, I'm in shape, but I'm not like fit. But like, it's one of them things. Like, you can't. When you look a certain way, you got to act a certain way. Like, you got to know I'm always threatening to somebody.
but when you're at home,
Absolutely.
you're not a threat. That's what we're talking about. You're not a threat at
Y'all know
home.
The people in our households know it.
That's
But
what
if
I'm
we go
saying.
out
Like
into
you're
the
not a
world-
threat at home, so it's okay to be vulnerable there. That's what I'm
don't worry
saying.
about that. It's okay.
But again, like, it's something I'm working on, trying to get better at. This topic was close. Like, I thank you for having me on. This topic was close to my heart. Like, I want to be more vulnerable, and not just vulnerable. Like, communicate my emotions. Like, I compartmentalize a lot of things, but I know I have people I can go to when something's bothering me.
Yeah.
Did you pause because I was yawning?
No.
Oh,
Getting
I thought you
it-
were trying to
getting
be
his words
funny.
together.
look like
He getting his
I
words
I thought
I-
you were
He
being
like- he
funny.
like-
I'm
It
like,
don't
bro,
look like
I
it.
can
He like he
yawn.
rude. He like he rude.
but like I have people who I can go to, but it's not saying I can't go to my wife. I know I can,
Not saying.
but when I go to her, I know she's gonna try to fix the problem. I don't need the problem fixed.
And I don't need her fucking it up even worse.
So with that being said, let me say and share something that I said last night. I was talking about our uncles, right, and just being able to sit at the foot of listening to them talk and just listen to where they are in life and distribute a lot of wisdom, right, and just like flat out receive it and listen to it, because they're at a different vulnerable state than where we are, and their communication skills are better with their spouses than where we are right now as well, and we're trying to get to that level. So we have to make sure that we listen to the wise counsel of other men,
Our elders.
our elders, the elder men as well, because they have a lot of wisdom to dispense, and it will help us in the platitude that, or the platform of where we are now, to get to where they are, and we can get there faster just by simply listening.
So like I said, it's over time. It's over time.
I got an excuse.
Their spouses and
You ain't got no dang excuse. Shut up.
Listen, I've been tied up in a job that kept me busy for every family gathering known to man.
Makes you and me both.
I'm done with that.
you're protected though. So your realm of thinking was always I gotta take her this. Boom.
Yeah.
Opportunity presented itself. So
I got a
benefit
mortgage
me and mine.
A mortgage.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. So
But
that's
All
what
right,
it was for
guys.
you.
So this has been a great conversation and everything. And but let's I wanna end on one question. This is a safe space. You have the opportunity to be vulnerable right now. Is there anything that you want to say? Let's start with our guest. Let's start with Corey.
Is there anything I want to say about vulnerability right now?
That you want to be vulnerable about right now.
Yeah. I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
I think it is important that both people understand that when going through a difficult situation, that both people have a perspective. And as I'm currently dealing with right now, I have a wife that is pregnant, and sometimes it feels like she's the only one going through the pregnancy when we both are.
Hold on.
Yeah. Congratulations. We love the circle of life. We love the circle of life. That's what we do over here. You know what I'm saying? We love the circle of life. So I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
No, that was it. Just that
Okay.
both people are going through it. Like it's not just, I totally understand the physical side of it, and I know that it's difficult.
It's not a one-way street.
It's not a one-way street though. It's like trying to catch somebody every time, because what you want to do in the process of being pregnant is you always want to try to catch your person from going through something difficult. But the problem is unfortunately statistics show that women are very irrational through pregnancies. So you really trying to catch something that's really hard to catch.
That's because they hungry, man. They always
It's
hungry. You know what I'm saying? So they
it's
can't
kind of
think
like
right. They always
trying
hungry.
to catch a slippery baby, a baby that is
So-
covered themselves in Vaseline and running around the house. You ain't
So
gonna catch it. Leave
right.
it alone and let the grease
So-
run off. Let it be.
And I want everyone this week that when your partner is going through something difficult, rather than think about their perspective. Think about their perspective. Before you react, think about their perspective and where they're coming from.
Well, that's the front door. What you want?
Sharing, Corey.
That's
Thank
how
you.
men think. That's how men think. Corey,
Thank
right
you
on
for
one time for the
sharing.
one time.
That's my brother.
Appreciate that.
I do.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Appreciate
Eddie,
that.
you is there anything you want to be vulnerable about?
I love my
Fully
wife.
love for the ladies.
He's
The
no
ladies-
longer for the ladies, ladies.
Spoony
The
glove.
ladies
What
is
ladies?
done.
Wait a
It's
minute,
the
wait a minute.
lady.
Wait a minute, you gotta drop your voice. Spoony glove.
Yeah, facts. Hey, ladies, it's
One
me,
time for the
Spoony
one
Love
time.
for the
Spoony
ladies.
glove.
It's just the lady. It's the lady.
Phase two. My bad.
Pony love for the lady.
Look,
Okay.
I'm a work
Go
in
ahead.
progress. I know it. We all have to grow. We're growing. We're all growing and we're all learning. If you stop, then you're dead. But
Great. That's great. Glad
Like a fish, huh?
belly up. But like this topic is close to my heart because this is something I've been trying to work on and something I've been trying to do and something I've been trying to be better at. Corey can tell you. I have reached out and talked and like so I'm glad I was able to get on here. I got perspective and acting. Like if you can act a little bit, 1% is better than no percent, you know?
absolutely.
So get better, grow.
You a preacher?
I'm
He a
done.
preacher's
Are
son.
you a man? There you go, sir. There you go,
That's a,
sir.
that,
This-
that's a preacher's
Hey,
son
hey,
right
this
there.
is nearest in my cup.
All right, Eddie. Spoonie Love, thank you for sharing.
Spoonie love.
All right.
Hold up. Let me make sure I do it right.
Do it right.
Spoonie love for the lady.
One time for the man.
One time.
All right, Dirk, is there anything you want to be vulnerable about right now?
Nah, I'm a real guy. You know what I'm saying?
See?
I'm a manly man. You see what I'm saying? I ain't nothing to be open
He
and
ain't
vulnerable
learned
about.
shit.
I
Yo,
done
he
spoke
ain't
to
learned
my
shit
spouse.
all night. My God, he ain't learned shit.
Goddamn.
Let me
He
get my
ain't-
moment, Wanda. Let me get my moment. You hear me?
This look ain't learned shit all night, y'all. Come on,
Goddamn.
now.
Let me have this.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Have it.
One time for the one time. Let me pull me up a little bit more here.
Give
One
us
time
that.
for the one time.
Yeah, do it. You got it.
I think.
Good night, Keon.
What did you pour? What did you just pour?
Hennessy.
Oh hell
That's how
no!
we drink. That's how we drink over here.
I'm not here
Hey.
but I am tonight.
You had this one?
The white, yeah.
I'm gonna go pick my bottle up tomorrow.
All right.
The white.
It's too sweet for me.
What's up, Twine? Boy, you didn't miss the whole
What?
conversation.
Missed the whole conversation.
Right.
My bad.
Thanks for
All
coming
right.
on, Twan, but you didn't miss everything. Don't
Thank
worry,
y'all
we're
for
gonna have a
having
good
me
time.
on.
No problem.
Much appreciated. Appreciate to you and Corey. You know what I'm saying? One time for the one time. Y'all gave us
Yeah.
so much influence for the male culture. You know what I'm saying? We wish we could have more males to come on and was different and could debate our topic, but I think all males feel the same when we talk about vulnerability.
Yeah.
All right, Fat, is there anything you want to be vulnerable about at this time?
Absolutely. First off, let me be 100% vulnerable when I say that I am head over heels in love with my woman, Maya.
I ain't being
My,
vulnerable.
my.
Yeah,
I ain't being vulnerable.
My man, like, I ain't being vulnerable.
yeah. I'm with that shit.
That's
I am.
day-to-day conversation.
I am. I'm with it. And
Yeah.
the hope from this conversation, and we probably won't do an episode 3 on this. We'll hit different topics later on, and we'll come back and hit some hot
Probably
points
circle
and
back
talk
to it.
about- Yeah,
It might come back
yeah.
up or something. Yeah.
but the hope is that everybody, all the men that are listening to this, figure out that it's worth being vulnerable with the woman that you're with the person that you're with, right? Because it does absolutely help in progressing the actual relationship that you're in. It's hard. We often hit yield signs, and then we hit stop signs even more. But we got to doubt to ourselves on a daily to be better. We got a lot of unlearning, unpacking to do, not just as men, but as a culture as well. We have to unpack a lot
Absolutely.
of shit.
We men.
Absolutely.
That's all we know.
But it doesn't have to be.
We men.
It doesn't
I'm gonna
have to be
punch him.
all that, though.
I promise you to God, I'm gonna punch him next time I see him. I swear to God,
Well,
I am.
luckily, it's but learn how to be vulnerable. It's a fun place
What
to
is
be.
that? We still ain't learned
We
that
just
tonight.
talked about it for an hour.
Learning,
Y'all talk about
being vulnerable is a movement of defining yourself and letting people accept you or not,
it's
and
It's that
being
a state of
okay
uncomfortable,
with
mind.
that.
It's
that
a state of
uncomfortable
mind.
place you get, that real
Yep.
uncomfortable
For
where they
example,
ask you a question and you feel uncomfortable. That's where I feel vulnerability lies.
Yeah. And I'm like, in my relationship with my woman right now, I am so happy that we are the way we are. It's just ridiculous, and I feel giddy. I feel like a little kid every day. I wake up and
I'm
remember
still
that
in
I'm with her.
honeymoon phase.
No, it's been several years at this point, over 20, to be honest with you. All in all,
so at the end of the day, Corey, can women process what we say?
Say that again.
Can women process what we say?
Can women process what we think?
We
What
can
we
definitely
say?
process what y'all say. Yes.
Women process.
But it would be even easier if we had some context with that vulnerability. But I'm
But
gonna
I'm
leave it
saying,
at that.
but
So
I'm saying,
with
Corey
that
said
being said,
no, Corey said back, so I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying?
this shit is hilarious.
Because that's still my round. That's still my. I don't think y'all can process what we
we
say.
can definitely process it, but we just gotta have some context, which means you gotta give us that vulnerability. But
Yeah, and I'm not taking y'all as being unintelligible beings.
Not at all.
no,
So
and we're not as fragile as y'all think we are either.
We don't think you
Know
fragile.
that.
I don't
Not
think
at
women are fragile at
all.
all. I think women are stronger than men are, in my personal opinion. From an
Right.
emotional
And
construct,
then
I-
and is okay.
I agree. I
And
agree
is
with him though, but y'all not ready to handle what we are prepared to
who
say.
are you to
No,
tell us
but I
what we're
think
ready to handle?
being a man is all right. So, contrary to popular belief, being a man is a lot harder than you think it is. I know it seems easy, but the problem is that in being a man, especially a man that is taking care of his household, when everything falls apart, when the marriage falls apart, when the kids fall apart, when everything falls apart, it is directly 100% on us every
on
time,
us,
on nobody else. If the
Yep.
marriage falls apart, what was the man
our
not doing?
fault.
If the kids wasn't going to school or they didn't do in school, well, then where was the daddy at to make sure the kids wasn't doing what they're supposed to do? We're always at fault, even when we're doing right. For the dudes that aren't doing right, they can take all the fault, but we take the fault even when we're doing right.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get confused. Some things confused, right? So Ray Rays and Pookies, we ain't talking to y'all.
No.
Y'all motherfuckers need to step your game up. We're talking to men. We're talking to men who have work,
Been in the
are
jungle,
working,
survive.
accomplish some shit, and still struggling to make shit work. That's who we're talking to. We're not talking to Ray Rays and Pookies because we know you motherfuckers ain't finna do shit from the flip.
There's a
Y'all
couple of Chads and Brads out there too. Them Chads and
right.
Brads out there. They ain't just spooky now.
Absolutely.
Chads and
Correct,
Brads
correct.
too.
Yes.
So let's not get it
We
Chads
appreciate
twisted.
and
you.
Brads as well.
We appreciate you,
That's
Corey.
right.
We appreciate you coming on, having your comment, and voicing your
I
opinion.
know it was a great conversation tonight, guys.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate
I
that.
I greatly appreciate the conversation tonight. Closing thoughts. Are we good?
Good.
Yeah, let's do closing thoughts. Corey,
Okay.
we'll hit you. Like, give us. It doesn't have to be on this topic. Just closing thoughts overall, in general.
Just closing thoughts. Just what you're thinking.
I'm going to revert back to what I said earlier. You know, you got to look at perspective. Life is about perspective, and you've got to be able to put yourself in other people's perspectives. When you don't do that, you are basically alleviating the opportunity to see from someone else's viewpoint. And that's where people make their biggest mistake is they look at everything from their own viewpoint and don't look at it from other people's. So I'm going to revert back to what I said earlier.
Good closing thought.
I think vulnerability is safe, social, environmental, physical, economic. That's what I think vulnerability is. And I spoke on earlier what I feel on were like physical, like baby, I'm in harm, or economically, like baby, I can't make this. You know what I'm saying? I can't just make this bill this week. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worked in such and such. That's his vulnerability as men. Where we are having these daily conversations with our spouses. Not no trauma situation or not no nothing big. It's just daily conversation on who I am from day to day conversation with you. My final thought.
All right.
Wanda, go ahead.
I know
Nope.
you ain't yet. Come on.
He finna be a whole hour.
I'm going
That's why he
last.
trying.
No,
Okay,
He trying to be a
no.
whole hour.
I'm not gonna be a whole hour. So my final and closing thoughts are: be willing to define yourself and accept yourself for who you are, and but be willing also to put yourself out there and be okay with not people accepting that. You know, so be vulnerable. Vulnerability is actually a strength. It's not a weakness. Crying is a strength. It's not a weakness. Communication is a strength. It's not a weakness. So be that. And in all things, at the end of the day, be love. Because that's what we should be. Be that concept of what you think it is and show everybody what you think it is, regardless of their social standing, economical standing, and everything that lies in between. Just be love. And be okay with being that.
Good job.
And that's it for me.
Great closing thought. All right, so I just want to say, vulnerability is not weakness, guys. I mean, like he just said, tears are cleansing, and just ladies, and if he's worth it, chip through that wall. You will get there eventually. You know, they worth the work. I promise you. I've been working on my wall for a minute. So just, be patient, and eventually the vulnerability will come. Also, with that being said, I just want to give a shout out to the ladies again for International Women's Day. Continue to love, be light, be fierce, slay as you do, and control your queendom. I love it. Okay, and as always, don't forget to brush and floss at least twice a day. Drink plenty of water. Eat your rainbows. Okay. I think that's it for me. There's never traffic in your own lane. So do you,
You know
boo?
what?
Love
I
you,
forgot
Queen.
to do this. Forgot to put that bar down. So, shameless plug, like, subscribe, and donate to the Family Bloodline. Everything that we've done, we haven't taken on sponsors for a reason, and that reason is we control our narrative. Nobody controls this for us. We say what we want to say. We speak the way we want to speak. Nobody does this for us. There's no other platform like this. We don't take on sponsors for a reason, and it's to give everybody the unabridged truth of where we are. Yeah, we're real and we're absolutely raw, and we'll continue to be that. So help us out. Again, if it's just $1, donate $1. We'll take it. We'll accept it, and we're putting it back.
We
into
like
the
dollars. Where
Yeah.
them dollars at?
Give
Where
me
them
some
dollars
quarters. I'll take quarters.
at?
Damn
We
it.
take them too.
Yeah. So give us that.
Shout out to the first lady.
Yeah, facts. So donate to the cause, because we're gonna be here just because. This is some shit that we gonna be here for, and
We just
here
like to
talk
do it.
about it. Don't switch up your jargon. Don't switch up the tone. Don't switch up anything. This is the platform. It's a safe space for everybody, and we doing this. We are doing it.
Vulnerable.
It's the Family Bloodline podcast. Several different countries. We are around the world. Our voices are being heard, and we are relevant today, tomorrow, and forever. So that's it.
Yep. So, as
One time for the one time.
in the wise words of Russell Simmons, thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Bonsoir.
One time for the one time.